Despite sparing little to no expense, this deadline day will not go down in history as one of the most exciting, but it will go down in history as the one in which a very large banana was used to annoy a reporter. Roll the tape.
A settimana e appunto si trasferirà alla fine delle visite mediche. Sembrava esserci stato qualche difficoltà tra Pato e la società, ma dopo aver primato gli accordi.
Yeah, so if we go on at TYT Sports, I want to know what he said to him. I really want to know.
He ended up beating the hell out of him with a banana. I mean, that's probably the best part of the entire clip.
It's the best part of the entire day, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, I love both parts. One, he tried really hard in the beginning to get through that broadcast, but man, just cut the broadcast for a second and tell the banana guy to make like a banana and split. Nailed it.
Good job. All right, so in retrospect, it was memorable, not by what happened. I mean, there was some big-name transfers for players such as Mbula, who went to Stoke for 18.3 million. Niasse moved on as well for 13.5 million. And Newcastle bought everyone they could to try and salvage their season, which might come out to be one of the smartest decisions Steve McLaren and the board have ever made, or one of the worst. But in terms of history, the Premier League now has broken records. They have spent so far, Jason, in both transfer windows, $1.045 billion.
We're holding them ransom.
I'm holding them ransom for $1
million.
Dr. Rio,
it's not that much money.
We're going to get to reactions, and we're going to talk about this and how this measures up compared to other leagues. But every time someone bids $14 million for these guys, who may well be the next big thing, or $21 million for Berahino, I just sit there and I ponder. And I understand I love the Premier League. I'm probably the biggest fanboy, and I watch it for entertainment value. But they live in a different universe. This money just can't be real. Ever since Andy Carroll left for 40 million plus, and Torres went for 60 and all these things, I just sit there and I don't think they live in a real world of money. I think they just have pots of gold that they can just share out. Because you think about it, Xabi Alonso, arguably one of the best midfielders and playmakers we'll still contributes well for Bayern Munich, went for 8 million.
Yeah, how long ago?
£8 million, 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, I was going to say
that
debunks the whole...
There's no way that the money
changes. I was going to say, because you've seen it with the NBA too, but in football, the more money that comes in, especially with the sponsors and the TV deals, there's more money to give out to the players, and usually there's some form of collective bargaining agreement, at least in American sports, where the players have to receive X amount of those dollars. Which simply means that they have to get so the contracts go up, the prices go up, because the clubs can't simply own that much when the players are providing the entertainment.
Yeah, trust me, I understand as well. There might be an influx in the economy, and there might be more money.
It's a lot of money. I get it.
Inflation and everything that goes on. You can take that into account, but I still stick by my view that the Premier League is insane.
I'd be a great deal. I'd be like a £3 million transfer. I'm not asking for much. I'll go to Bayern.
Would you ask for a signing-on fee? Which means
wouldn't be much, like £100,000. That's it.
All right, that's a bargain. You've heard it here. But so that was part of the reason why, is because look at this graphic in comparison with Premier League spending to the other leagues in the world. Bundesliga, look at that, not even approaching 50 million. La Liga, not even approaching 50 million. League One, barely even getting to that point. Premier League, just skating up above, close to 200 million in Serie A. So, as I'll go back to my previous point, this poses a question, is why is the best players in the world not in the Premier League if they spend this amount of money? And that doesn't always make up for it, because there is players that will in clubs that will drive a huge bargain. West Brom are the perfect example. They're wanting 20 plus million, not even a 21 million bid, I think, for Berahino was accepted. That guy is lucky if he's worth 10 million, in my point of view. Might be the next big thing, blah, blah, blah. So there's just crazy amounts of crazy price tags that are put on players, but still, with that amount spent in January, that amount spent in the summer, you expect the Premier League to have the best players. But simply put, lads, you might be in a different world if you think there is. They're not. They're not the best players in the world in the Premier League anymore, I believe, and I don't think there ever has been.
That's why you get guys like Douglas Costa who prove their value.
Of course, that's based on management. It's based on scouting. It's not based on just the overwhelming I would say, amount of hype that are based around the player. So Berahino, I'll go back to him. He may well be a good signing, but I haven't seen... I saw him a couple of chances for West Brom. He scored 2 in the FA Cup when he was brought back into the team, but 20+
You're
million.
having some trouble justifying.
Yeah, I just have trouble
you're trying
justifying
really,
that.
really hard, too.
I can't justify 20+.
Good quote from the BBC. Is it the BBC? Or BBC?
You can call them the BBC because there's no other BBC that can come to mind for me, unless...
Sure. The BBC quote, "The promise of the new broadcast deal for Premier League clubs from next season onwards and the threat of missing out through relegation is contributing to clubs investing in an attempt to stay in the league." This is, to me, what accurately describes Newcastle.
Yes, of course.
For them to be relegated, if they ever were, I mean, Newcastle's a historic franchise. Franchise.
Yeah, they are.
And they were in the 80s, I believe. Is my history correct? Is my Premier League
Early
history?
90s as well.
Early 90s, they were a dominant team, dominant club, and even 20 years later, they can't be relegated.
Yeah, it would be catastrophic for that franchise if they were to be demoted or relegated. Go back to my British roots. And I'm sure the Geordie would be on some sort of watch if that was to happen. But nonetheless, that was a question I wanted to pose to the audience because there is some good reactions to it. People said that this is not the best way to spend their Monday. They expected this Monday to be a little different because they would have some excitement in it. You wouldn't just rely on coffee, but you could rely on the excitement of the Premier League and deadline day and everything went on with it. And when you've seen transfers like Luis Suarez come in this memorable transfer window, it was a little bit lackluster. Barcelona made some efforts. Roma made some good transfers, I would say, getting rid of Gervinho, getting rid of some of the dead weight there, bringing in players like El Shaarawy, who had a good first impact, as you could see, because he scored a phenomenal scorpion kick, a bicycle kick, as the Americans will like to say.
No, that's what the British say too.
No, we say overhead kick. You guys call, "Do you see that bike?" No, we've seen a guy riding a bike down the street. That was an overhead kick.
You get the idea, though, right? Because
your legs go both ways. So that was the question. This is the question. Why is it when the Premier League spends so much money, they're just they're like that? Who am I saying? That rich guy who just wants to keep buying his way with the new and hottest prospect, whether it's women, whether it's cars, whether it's everything, but they still really cannot get to the same level as that classy guy that spends wisely, everyone wants to follow, and just can't keep up. Let us know in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen with the transfers that have came in? Do you think there will be immediate success for players coming into Stoke? I think that it's a smart addition, adding more flair to that team that's already evolving with the hard-working mentality and the likes of Shaqiri, who are coming in to help them in Bojan? Or do you think it will just be money wasted? In the comment section below, hit us at TYT Sports on Twitter, at Francis_Maxwell, Jason Rubin 91.